Yeah, I can hear you.
Hey, I know it's been a long weekend. We're going to take you off the floor here, all right, brother?
Yes, sir. Let's do it.
Hey, listen, you got to come in, you got to work hard, you got to earn your job, earn your keep. And it doesn't matter where you're taking, it matters what you do from this point forward, all right? Talented, spent a lot of time with you this year. Let's get ready to go to work.
Yes, sir. Thank you. What's up, coach?
Good to see you, man.
Yes, sir. I'm excited to see you.
Remember I told you the Lord works in mysterious ways, right?
No, for sure. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing.
That was a phone call that Shedeur Sanders got on Saturday afternoon from the Cleveland Browns. They announced the ratings for the third day of the draft, 4.3 million average for that full day on Saturday. I'd love to know what it was before he was drafted and what it became after.
Yeah, right.
Because I have a feeling at some point it just went like that. And that means that before it would have been a lot more than 4.3 million if 4.3 is the average for the whole day.
Yeah, no, I would say so. I would say when he got picked, right, and did that was definitely a moment where I started to go, okay, let me just get up out of the chair here. I got to go do this over here, do that over there. You know, kept it on the TV. Oh, wait, who got picked? Let me go back. All right, right. So I would agree. I would have been in that right there, 5th round. I'm not going to sit here and like glued to the TV for every second here now. I can get up for a second and do whatever because Shedeur got picked.
How long did you last? Did you like come back and watch any of it? Like, do you go all the way through the end? I tapped out probably by the end of round 5.
I think like I might have kind of casually hung in there through 5, most of 6. And then I believe when we got like a few picks into 7, I had to take my son to baseball practice. And that's where I kind of just followed picks on my phone from there on out. And I wasn't watching anymore.
I tuned back in at one point, and they were eating pumpkin pie because apparently that's all that Mel Kiper eats. But he won't eat on the air, so the rest of them were eating pumpkin pie. They gave him a piece, and he won't eat it in front of other people, which is fine. I like to enjoy my food. I don't like to eat unless I'm going out to a restaurant. Anyway, once I saw that, I said, okay, I'm back out again.
Yeah.
And I don't know when it finally ended. I don't know when it ended. But 257 picks later, I've suggested that instead of calling the last pick Mr. Irrelevant, they should call him Dr. Kevorkian because it's finally putting this draft out of our misery because it really does. For as great as it is at the start, what's the March comes in like a lion and goes out like a lamb? Like the draft comes in like a lion and goes out like a, will you please get the hell off of my TV? Can we please move on? Okay, we move on to Shedeur Sanders making his first appearance in Cleveland. He's not going back to college. He's not going to re-enter the draft. He's all in with the Browns. Here he is in the community, already starting the process of giving back to Cleveland. Here's what he said to some students at John Marshall High School.
How's everybody doing? So I just got to Cleveland. I just got here yesterday. I just wanted to come out and see y'all. We working out every day. We got a purpose. We got something we trying to accomplish and achieve, but what inspires me to keep going, I would say knowing I got a lot of people watching me, knowing that I'm a positive influence to the youth. That's why I say what keeps me going. So like even coming here seeing y'all, it's not like I have to do anything. I choose to do it. You got 2 ways you could go about it. You could do what you want to do, not listen and see how it pan out, or you could listen to somebody that got your best interest that wants the best for you and then go down that route. So everybody has free will in this room, and you know everything may be fun and games now, but whenever real life hit, I don't think it's gonna be that funny if you don't set yourself up the right way. I'm trying to bring Cleveland, of course, a Super Bowl.
There we go. One of the few teams that have never been to the Super Bowl. Shedeur Sanders fully embracing his opportunity. And, hey, even though he went in round 5, you look at the depth chart, he's got a high degree of confidence. He told us at the scouting combine he thinks he can turn around a bad franchise. Now, part of that is naivete because it takes more than one guy, but he's got the right mindset to go in there and make a positive impact on the lives of others. He said that from the get-go. He's going to throw himself into the community. And that's the part of it that, even though I'm not a big fan of the whole sorting hat thing because I think they should be able to pick, as you know, where they go, the idea that the community acquires an asset somebody who, if they're going to take it seriously, who can come in and really make a difference and help the community at large. And that's where a football team, to the extent we're going to even begin to try to justify taxpayer investment in football stadiums, if the members of the team are providing a positive impact to the community, then there's value.
There definitely is. Excuse me as I drool on myself. But yeah, that was first off really cool. And again, something that Shedeur Sanders didn't have to do. This is one thing that I feel like has been lost in translation over the last weekend. And this is where I do want to stick up for this kid a little bit here, right? This young man. I think a lot of people, just because they entitled and he's got a chain with a lot of diamonds on it and all of that, people think the kid's not a good kid. And that's where I do want to fight back against everybody out there. This is a good human being. We were around him. I know it. I know enough people that know him that this is a nice person. He cares about people. He treats them the right way. Was he misled in how he should approach the draft process? Yes. He didn't have an agent. His father misled him a little bit, maybe. Sure. I don't think it's crazy.
Well, not on purpose. He didn't know.
I know. Exactly.
If he
right.
would have known, he surely wouldn't have done it.
No, of course. I know that. And I'm just trying to say he didn't have people that really put him in the right spot or gave him the right mental, focus to put the best foot forward to impress a football team. I think he was a little misled by the hype and where he was. But I don't think people got to get this mixed up for 1 second. This is a good kid who likes people and is very nice. And when you meet him, you see that in his eyes. That is not, it's not like, oh, I don't know, this guy might be faking it or whatever. He's very nice, and I root for him because of that for sure.
At that age, we all need guidance. And sometimes it's as simple as someone you respect sitting down with you and saying, for example, Shedeur, you've hired me to represent your interests. Let me tell you how the pre-draft process goes.
Right.
You've been recruited your whole life. You've had choices your whole life. You do not have a choice in this matter. You choose to submit to the draft process, but once you do, you have no choice. You have to convince them to choose you. You need to approach this like a job interview, and you are interviewing for 32 different teams, and it's in your financial interest and mine for you to be drafted as high as possible by one of those teams. So although you're used to being pursued, when in Rome, in this context, you need to be the one who's doing the pursuing, and you need to have that attitude every step of the way. I don't think anybody told him that. And if he hears that and he takes it to heart, he doesn't last all the way until 144.
Yeah, I think that's exactly right. And that's where, a little bit of like we talked about on Monday, did he think he was like Dion and he could just be that guy and all that? Whatever. Either way, it got lost in translation of what he needed to do to impress a football team. He was misled that way. He came off the wrong way to football teams. But I don't think any of these football teams went, oh, he's a mean, bad person or anything like that. That's not the case.
Well,
right? He just
brash and arrogant, that was the first talking point.
Okay.
Brash and arrogant.
Right. Well, yes, when you sit down and go, hey, you're not, maybe I'm not the pick for you, or hey, I didn't study this. Yeah, that's the word that's going to come out. But that doesn't necessarily mean bad, mean kid.
Or when they drop the test in front of you and you say, when do you pick? I'm not going to be on the board. I don't have time for this, like his dad did. That's the fundamental difference, and we've touched on this a few times. Shedeur does not have the same level of skill that his dad had. His dad had enough skill that he could do that. He could be recruited. Everybody else has to interview, especially at quarterback. And and who knows, maybe it'll work out for him perfectly. Maybe this is the kick in the ass he needs. Maybe this is the eye-opener he needs. And he goes into Cleveland, and he's already got the highest-selling jersey for all the rookies. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.
Xin chào các bạn nha. Ngày hôm nay mình sẽ hướng dẫn các bạn cái cắt dán cái chuông nha. Bây giờ mình sẽ bắt đầu cắt dán cho các bạn. Chờ có gì anh cháu? Phong cái khăn da đen ở trên mạng anh xem được. Mà nó ngâm mặt vào nước đá đó. Đi không? Cái gì kia? Ngâm mặt vào nước đá rồi. Sao như vậy? Thành kim.
Đấy cơ, đây bảo đang như kia này cơ. Rồi nha, phân là trong bức tranh phần trên các bạn bắt cái này sẽ xây vào đây.
chung với rồi xong mà đi chưa? Đấy. Bày chung với tụi ma ở đi chưa? Tao cho mày cả một tổ mà 4 tổ mà 40 có đâu được phải châu á. Chỉ có mày tự mày thôi. Cứ được là video đúng không? Tụi mày anh lấy tụi mày anh lấy cái này anh